This is Bulbasaur, when he was just a tiny, ancient seed in the palm of my hand. And this is Bulbasaur when he turned into a massive jungle god, drowning the city in eternal green. Today, I'm going to do the craziest experiment ever, simulating what it's like to raise a grass-type Pokémon in real life to see if nature is actually as gentle as we think. I'm going to have to hand-build a complex greenhouse ecosystem, mix special nutrient formulas, and train him to fight for survival against threats from the human world. Bulbasaur begins his life in a strange state of hibernation. He looks like a giant onion bulb with a rough jade green shell. To wake him up, I can't use a regular egg incubator. I have to place him in a pot of nutrient-rich humus soil, drench it with pure mineral water, and turn on high-power UV lights to simulate the harsh tropical sun. I sat there watching him for 24 hours straight, and then the miracle happened. The shell started to crack, tiny little vines reached up, and boom, welcome to the real world, Bulbasaur. He is only about 15 centimeters tall, with spotted blue skin and, most importantly, a large flower bulb sealed tight on his back. He looks harmless and slow, but my favorite meal isn't human food. I had to concoct a special smoothie consisting of high-grade organic fertilizer, mineral water, and blended vegetables. Watching him use his 2 vines to suck the nutrients out of that green sludge was magical, but also kind of creepy. In his stomach, Bulbasaur started showing his mischievous personality. I discovered that the pair of vines on his back are more flexible than human hands. He uses the vines to unlock the tank latch, uses the vines to grab a soda can from the fridge, and even uses them to tickle me whenever I change the pond water. But the outside world is full of a Pokemon raised in a greenhouse won't survive long. I decided to take him to the backyard for his first lesson. His opponent today isn't a fire dragon or a sea monster, but a classic enemy of the grass type, a giant caterpie that was stealing my mom's vegetables. Bulbasaur charged in, but he was too slow. The caterpillar quickly sprayed silk, tying Bulbasaur up tight. He struggled in desperation. I yelled out, "Use razor leaf, Bulbasaur!" As if he understood, razor-sharp leaves flew out from the bulb on his back, spinning in the air, cutting the spider silk and sending the caterpillar running for its life. It was a small victory. Maturity. Everything was going smoothly until day 30. That night, I was woken up by a blinding light coming from the glass tank. The whole room shook slightly. When I ran over to check, Bulbasaur was gone. In his place was a creature that was bigger and more aggressive. The bulb on his back had bloomed into a large pink flower with thick petals. Congratulations, he evolved into Ivysaur's grass-type power started getting out of control. With every step he took, tree roots sprouted from the wooden floor. The potted plants in the house suddenly grew at a terrifying rate, vines covering the walls and ceiling. My house was slowly turning into a miniature Amazon rainforest, just like in the movie Jumanji. My mom is definitely going to kill me if she sees this. I realized the old tank and even this house couldn't contain him anymore. Ivysaur needs a massive space to release his excess. I decided to sneak him out to the central city park at night, where there are plenty of trees and soil. But I made a huge mistake. At the park, Ivysaur got too excited touching real earth after days of confinement. He rooted deep into the ground and started absorbing energy from the entire city's greenery system. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Giant roots the size of cars burst up from the earth, destroying the pavement and overturning benches. Streetlights popped and they thought this was an alien plant invasion attacking Earth. I tried to run out and explain, but I was held back. The armored vehicles started moving in. They used flamethrowers because they thought fire was the best way to destroy plants. Flames engulfed Ivysaur. He roared in pain. I saw the fear in his eyes. He just wanted to play but was being attacked. In that moment of life and death, his survival instinct kicked in furiously. Instead of being burned to ash, the flower on Ivysaur's back began to absorb the heat from the fire and the light from the helicopter spotlights. His body swelled up. His skin became rough and hard like rock. A massive tree trunk shot up from his back. A blast of green energy swept through the park, extinguishing all the flames. When the smoke cleared, Standing there was no longer Ivysaur. He had evolved into another threat appeared, far more terrifying. From the city's sewer system, which contained waste from a nearby chemical factory, a giant pile of purple toxic sludge rose up. It was Mook, a Pokémon born from pollution. This Mook seemed attracted to Venusaur's pure energy. It slithered forward, spreading poison across the park, withering every plant it touched. The military fired at it helplessly, but the bullets only made the poison splash further, endangering civilians. I looked up at the sky. The dark clouds were parting to reveal the moonlight. Venusaur, use solar beam. Venusaur let out a roar that shook the earth. The giant tree on his back opened its canopy, beginning to gather every particle of light from the street lamps, from the moon, and from the life energy of the surrounding forest. A ball of brilliant golden light accumulated right at the mouth of the flower. The air around us heated up intensely. Boom! A massive beam of green and gold light shot straight at the Mook. The heat and pure energy of the solar beam evaporated all the toxins, purifying the sludge monster and turning it back into harmless drops of water. But the aftershock of the blast was too huge. It shook the foundations of the surrounding skyscrapers. To protect the city from collapsing, Venusaur used his ultimate move, Frenzy Plant. Thousands of giant roots shot up, not to destroy, but to weave together into sturdy supports, holding the tilting buildings in place. In just a few minutes, a corner of the gray concrete city had turned into a stunning green super metropolis covered in vegetation. The military lowered their weapons. They realized Venusaur wasn't an invader, but a guardian of nature. Now Venusaur house anymore. I coordinated with the city to build him a private national reserve right in that park. He sleeps all day in the sun, occasionally planting a few hectares of forest just by sneezing. Raising a grass-type Pokémon might save money on food since he photosynthesizes, but it costs way too much in infrastructure damage compensation, guys. The journey from a tiny seed to a forest god has ended, but my real-life Pokémon collection isn't stopping here. Do you see that haunted house at the end of the street? I'm thinking about catching a ghost-type Gengar to raise and see if he scares the neighbors. If you want me to make that video, comment the word ghost really loud down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to see how I clean up this mess. See you guys in the next video.